Good morning, students. I think it's been about a week since you've been able to hear my voice on a lesson, but I'm sure you've made it through without that. Overall, as looking back at the quizzes, things have gone well so far. Today we are going to start doing some problems with surface area of a cylinder. Yesterday I had you watch a nice full explanation on what exactly we're doing. I thought that video was a really nice introduction as to what we'll be doing and had some nice animations that really I don't have the ability to do. So I wanted you to watch that and also kind of make the day a little easier for you after a quiz. So the one difference in today and compared to today and yesterday is I'm going to be combining a couple of those steps that they did into one single formula. I think it just kind of simplifies what we're doing. You're still going to be finding that circumference of a circle, but it's all built into the one single formula, just to simplify the process. So taking a look at surface area of a cylinder, what are we actually doing? We're the surface area of a cylinder, S, is the sum of the areas of the bases and the lateral faces. So what that is if we take a look at our cylinder here, our base being that circle, our lateral face going to be that rectangle that wraps around. And when we draw a net of it, kind of shows it a little bit more. The two circles, the top and the bottom there, those are going to be your bases. And your lateral surface, that's that rectangle that would wrap around to connect it all together. So our simplified formula from the video yesterday compared to today is going to look like this, where S being our surface area of the cylinder equals 2 times pi times r squared. So that, if you remember, pi times r squared, that's our area of a circle. So that's what we're finding there, the pi times r squared, that's the area of one circle. And because we have two of them, we have our two circles, that's why we're multiplying by that 2 up front. And we're going to add to it this blue part, that's the area of the lateral surface. So 2 times pi times the radius, that's the circumference of a circle. 2 times pi times radius is our circumference, and we'll multiply that by the height. So that combines all of it. So that 2 pi r, that gives us this long rectangle length, which is actually the same thing as the circumference. So it's highlighted nicely on that net with the top one. The bolded circle around it is the same thing as the longer length of the rectangle. So we combine it all into one nice kind of cleaner formula overall versus finding it in pieces and then combining it together. So if we take a look at an example, so find the area of the cylinder, the surface area. We have a radius here of 4 millimeters, a height of 3 millimeters. Those are the two pieces of information that we need. So first thing, draw a net. That's going to look like the two circles, top and bottom here, with each with a radius of 4 millimeters, and then our rectangle that combines them with a height of 3 millimeters. We'll find this length of the rectangle by using our formula, which really is finding the circumference of the circle. So here, use that formula I said before, S equals 2 times pi times r squared plus 2 times pi times r times h, and fill in what we know. So we know we have a radius of 4, that's where you get each of those 4s, and a height of 3, that's where we get that. For the purpose of ours, we're going to be using 3.14 for pi. This one, so first step is your exponent, so 4 squared, remember that's 4 times 4, which is 16. 16 times 2, that's what gives us 32 here. The other portion, 2 times 4 times 3, remember we're able to do this in not exact straight order because of the commutative property of multiplication. So 2 times 4 times 3, that's what gives us the 24 there. So 32 times pi plus 24 times pi, and for pi we use 3.14, so you'd substitute each of those, and that would then give us approximately 175 and 8/10 for our surface area here. This example, it's a already created one. It doesn't break it down quite as fully as what we'll have here with this next one. So we have a cylinder, radius of 6, height of 9. So starting out with that same formula, surface area equals 2 times pi times r squared. That pi r squared, that's the area of the circle, plus 2 times pi times r times h, the 2 pi r, that is the circumference of the circle. So I have it broken down a little bit further on what exactly each of these are. 2 times pi times the radius squared plus 2 times pi times the radius times the height. So just spelled out in words to make it a little more clear. Then from there, we'll substitute in what we know. So like I said, for our calculations, we're going to use 3.14 for pi. So you substitute that in for pi each spot. The radius is 6, so 6 goes into each of those, and our height being 9. Order of operations, we have to handle the exponent first. So 6 squared, that's where we get this 36 from now. So 2 times 3.14 times 36 plus 2 times 3.14 plus times 6 times 9. So we have to handle these multiplications first. We have to handle each of those before we can do the addition. So you do the 2 times 3.14 times 36 gives us 26 or 226 and 800ths. That's the area of the two circles. So the top and bottom here of your cylinder. And then 2 times 3.14 times 6 times 9, that's 339 and 1200ths. That's the surface area of that rectangle that wraps all the way around. And our last step, add those two numbers together, 565 and 2/10 is what we get yards squared for our surface area of the cylinder. So just break it down piece by piece, follow order of operations, make sure you do the exponent first, then handle all of the multiplication, then you can handle the addition and get your final solution. If you have any questions, let me know, reach out to me, Google Hangout, email, Google Meet, however we have to do it. Have yourself a good Thursday.